Okay, we're gonna call the meeting to order. And so, the first thing we're gonna do is some action items while they get this set up. And then we'll move on to the public hearings. So the first action item is to review the meeting minutes from the November 19th meeting. Did everyone get a chance to check those out?
Looked good to me.
Okay. Can I get a motion?
Move to accept the meeting minutes from November 19th, 2019.
I second that.
All in favor? Any opposed? One? Okay, good. All right. I guess while she's still doing that, or we'll just wait and we'll get that one.
If you want to read in and vote to continue 9 Rodnick,
Okay,
You
let's
can
do
do
that. Pursuant to the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act and the Grafton Wetland Protection Bylaw, the Grafton Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing to act upon the notice of intent and application for a Grafton Wetlands Protection Bylaw permit for the construction of a single-family house at 9 Rodnick Street. So looks like the applicant has asked for a continuance to the 12/17 meeting.
I'll move to continue the public hearing to 12/17.
I second that.
All in favor? Okay, no opposed? That is good.
We got something.
Yep.
That's good.
if you want, we can take care of that action item.
The certificate of compliance?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is 19 Leland Ave. They came to us a few months ago looking for a certificate of compliance. Their no disturb signage was really flimsy, the sign itself and the post it was on, so we told them that it needs to be more durable. We took no action then. They've given it a second try. Screen's a little dark, but I got some photos. They now have it's like metallic medallion signs, so those are better. And they have more heavy duty posts that are securely in the ground.
Okay.
So,
The 2x4?
what's that?
Is it wooden?
Is it on a
Yeah.
2x4?
Okay.
Yep.
So it's better.
Okay. And they're just looking for a certificate of compliance. So it looks like they addressed our concerns from before. Is that you, none of you, are any of you here for? No, okay. So do we want to make a motion?
I'll motion to issue the certificate of compliance for 19 Leland Ave.
I second that.
All in favor? And no one's opposed? Okay. All right, we have one more thing. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna do one Old Sawmill Road now. So pursuant to the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act and the Grafton Wetland Protection Bylaw, the Grafton Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing to act upon a request for a determination of applicability for the installation of a drainage pipe at 1 Old Sawmill Road in Grafton.
Good evening. My name is Elliot Paterzo with ASL and Associates, and at the last meeting, there were a couple of questions. One of them was we wanted to create an easement for the drain pipe, and the other one was how far off of the property line. So all of the drainage system is gonna be within the lot. And one of the questions was how far off is the dam from the property line? It's about 4.3 feet off of it. So all of the system will be within the lot. And the owner of the lot has agreed to work with the DPW to try and alleviate the ponding on Old Sawmill Road. Because of the topo and the elevations, everything's minimal. I don't have any drainage calcs because if we were gonna do that, it wouldn't fit because of the contours and the topo. So this is the best that we could come up with to try and help to eliminate the ponding at the low point of the road.
Do you have a plan that shows where the drainage pipe is gonna be in relation to the abutter property? So like,
Yes. That's the new plan that I sent. Did you get that? Yeah.
What, the abutter plan, or this is your
I have a new
revised?
plan that has the easement, so we have a 20-foot wide utility easement.
That's this one. It's
Yeah.
just really hard to see. I
Okay.
apologize for that.
Okay.
Is that on, which one is that on here?
Revised plan.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a green dashed line on either side of
Yep.
the solid line. Shows the easement.
Okay.
And if I can just offer some clarification, since you guys can see it a little easier with the color coding on your iPads. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the pink line is the property line. So you can see that one back here. Kind of around where it says edge of water.
Mm-hmm.
And then this green, all the green is the proposed work.
So, Leah, can you pull up the abutter plan?
Yep.
I just have, so I'm guessing that where the water is shown on this plan is not accurate because it looks like the green, I know we had talked about that the drainage was gonna go right, right next to the water.
Yeah.
So it looks like on that abutter plan that there's another property between the water and the property in question.
Yeah, so we were looking into this in the office, and it seems like our data layer that is just Google Roads shows not necessarily what's there today. If we turn on the satellite,
Okay.
water's all the way over here now.
Okay.
You
So-
guys, you guys can offer any clarification you might have from personal knowledge, but that's just looking at an aerial photo.
Yeah, we didn't, the drainage is gonna stop within the lot, it's not gonna go beyond the property line.
Okay.
And so the drainage, is that going directly into the water, or is it?
No, it's gonna go, we have like a dam area, so the outflows comes from the pipe, and it's gonna come into this area where there's a dam, and it's gonna slow the water down so that it can infiltrate into the wet.
And you can see that on the detail on the side.
Mhm.
Do you have an anticipated volume that is gonna collect there, and then what size is that area to fit that volume?
I talked to the engineer today about it, and he said that, you know, there's probably an 8-acre watershed, and that would create, if you took all that into account and tried to design a pipe, it would probably be a 24-inch pipe, and it would have to be at a slope of 2% to handle that volume. What we're trying to do is try to help to alleviate what's there now, based on the elevations that are there, and the coverage of the pipe. We have 1.5 feet of coverage, so we're trying to get it to flow out to daylight, and that's the best that we could come up with.
Okay, so I understand you're trying to alleviate the issue in the road, so I guess to specify my question, I'm just wondering the volume that usually sits in the puddle in the road, and then how big is this dammed area to fit
I
that?
don't know what the size of I've never seen the water on the road, so I don't know what the size is.
Okay.
So basically, are you guys anticipating that this dam is going to be able to alleviate all of the flooding and capture all of that water, or is the dam, is it going to be sufficient?
What it's gonna do is it's gonna slowly bring the water from the street down to that area.
Mm-hmm.
And then it may pond for maybe a few hours, and then slowly it'll go through the pipe and come out into the dammed area.
That looks like.
So what kind of calculations were used to determine
I'm looking at it right.
basically how big this green shape should be at the end of the pipe?
The calculation was that we have 1.5 feet of cover. We have this, a 12-inch pipe, we didn't go any bigger than that. And we didn't run any, you know, a 25-year storm, it wouldn't handle a 25-year storm, it's less than that. But it's the best we could do, given the contours and the elevations of the road and the pond.
And this just could be because I'm having gone through, was there any testing done to make sure that the water's gonna infiltrate in a reasonable time and not just pool and sit in that dammed area?
The soil types in that area are generally gravelly.
Okay,
When they built the house, we were at the site and we saw the material that's there. We didn't do any testing in the area of the dam.
Leah, you haven't been out at this at all, right?
No.
Did you have any questions or concerns you wanted to bring up on the project?
Yeah, I'm Phil Brooks, 21 East Street.
If
Could
you
you
could just
go to a
come
mic,
over
please?
to the microphone, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Phil Brooks, 21 East Street. Just wondering, if it only goes to the property line, then I have no problems with anything, because it's on their property.
Mhm.
But it's only gonna be water from the road that's gonna drain this way, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Nothing from the cellar? No. Okay. Because there's a serious cellar problem over there. I just want to make sure there's nothing being else pumped into this pipe to go that way. Because the pond, I've lived on this pond all my life. Used to swim in it when I was a kid. I don't even want my dog in it now because it's so polluted from other towns. We just don't need any more garbage going into it. That was my whole concern before. And the only other thing I'd like to see is exactly where the property line is on the plan, where their property line is versus the water.
Yeah, it's right here.
Is it?
Yeah, it's right here, Phil. So the edge of the water is right here, and the property line is right here.
That's pretty damn close.
Yeah, but we're gonna stop the dam over here.
Yeah.
It's about 4.5 feet from the property line to the dam.
Because according to, well, the plans that the town is saying of, that Millet owns, it was a lot wider from the water to your property line, you know. I'll have to look at it again, I don't know exactly what it is, but I just want to make sure there's nothing going into that pond that doesn't belong in there. And you're right, it is all gravel over there, so it will perk. And who's going to maintain the perkability of this pit? Because he's going to sell the house.
Well, I
You know
imagine
what
it'd
I'm
be
saying?
a combination with the town.
So the town's going to take this over afterwards?
I don't know if that's.
If I can just interject,
Sure.
the town did ask for an easement over this area, which is hard to see on that screen, but, there's a dotted line on either side of that green line going down the middle for a proposed easement to turn over to the town for maintenance.
Town's really going to take care of this? Oh, boy. All right, no.
It was
just-
offered in interdepartmental comments from the DPW. They asked for it.
Okay. Just,
Since it's gonna be infiltrating into the pond, was there any concern with any like road runoff? Is this a publicly maintained road? They salt it and sand it, and I don't know what the traffic's like on this road because I'm not familiar with it, but,
I believe it's still unpaved, correct?
Correct.
okay.
well, it's kind of unpaved. They put grindings on it, millings,
Okay.
so Fred's been really screaming about the road. He wants it paved eventually, so. There's not much traffic that's on that road.
Okay, so there's not really a big concern with road runoff getting into the catch basin and into the,
Not really.
okay.
No.
Do you guys have any questions?
You do understand this pipe is pretty much level. I mean, there's nothing else they can do about it. I understand that. But you gotta understand, a level pipe doesn't flush itself out too good. Drainage has a certain pitch to it, and they have it right there for a reason, so the water and the dirt goes down it and drains out like into a catch basin. This is pretty much level, so if it fills up with dirt, town's gonna be responsible for cleaning it and taking care of it, the way I understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, there's a sump in the catch basin, so that hopefully that takes some of the dirt out.
How big's the sump?
There's a detail of it on that plan, I
I
believe.
think it's about a foot and a half, I think, or is it?
Has this project already been approved by the DPW? They've reviewed it and,
Yes.
okay.
Yep.
In terms of like the slope of the drainage and dirt accumulating in it, that's more on their end to approve it and
Yeah.
less so on
Believe
our
me,
side.
I know all about it.
Yeah.
Is that what you were looking for?
Yep.
Sorry about the darkness of the screen. We're on our backup projector tonight.
What's the sump? I can't make it out.
We didn't put a dimension on it, but this
From
is
from the invert down,
this is the pipe, and this is the bottom of the catch basin.
yeah,
So this is a foot and a half, so it's probably about a foot and change.
yeah. Not much, but, you know, regardless.
That's the point, is to bring it over there, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are my only concerns there. The pond and that there, and the maintenance. So,
It really is not much of a slope.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, like you said, more DPW's.
Oh, and the
Yeah.
property line, just making sure that stays on their property.
On their property line. Has the property line, in terms of that back edge, been surveyed? Like, we know, okay, so we have a concrete where that property line is, so we can make sure it doesn't cross, okay.
Yeah, the pins are in on,
Yeah,
Looking at to the left-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, which one? The one,
Beyond Fred's lot.
yeah, by
I
Davis's?
mean, everything has been,
Well,
I think you showed Davis's.
And here, we've got one over here, we've got one up there.
in terms of the slope, that's on the
So we tied
DPW.
into all of the
Mhm.
record monuments
Okay.
that are shown on the plan.
Good, all right.
It's probably the best they
So
can
the
do, given the
purple
grade.
line,
Yeah,
That's property line.
and they're doing this to sell.
then,
Or to alleviate the
see, I'm
flooding.
still a little confused on getting, like Amy Millette and where that comes into, well, I'll talk to you later. Okay.
Okay, anyone have anything else, or?
I just wanted to call your attention to the conditions I had listed
Yep.
as potentials.
Yep. So one of the things that you had mentioned, for the erosion controls, there's no hay allowed, it has to be straw.
Okay,
So that would have to be changed, that would be a condition.
okay.
Also, the town easement that's shown on the plan is gonna have to be recorded
Okay,
once the work is complete.
okay.
And then the sewer line locations for houses 1 and 3 are gonna need to be verified in the field in collaboration with the sewer department prior to starting work.
Okay.
That's town sewage on that street, or is it?
I
private
don't, well,
septic?
it just says sewer line locations, so I don't know. It doesn't list. And then I just have one other question. Is there any sort of, I know the town is gonna be taking over the maintenance, and Leah, you might know this. Was there any sort of like a proposed maintenance schedule or
Not yet.
in
no.
terms of, I mean, just because it does not have very much slope and we don't know exactly how much it's gonna work, is there, can we request that they do a certain amount of monitoring and assessment to make sure that it's functioning properly?
Yeah, I don't see why not. You can't, I don't see why you can't ask for something like that.
Okay,
I don't know, just, it depends how you wanna word the condition.
right. Just to make sure that there's not, like, it's not just filling up with sediment or road runoff or any, you know, that it's, exactly, debris, that it's functioning properly and doing what it's supposed to do, getting
Right.
rid of the flooding in the roadway and also infiltrating slowly.
We could set up like a minimum, like at a minimum, it would be checked out however often.
Yeah,
Quarterly,
yeah,
4 times a year or even more, depending weather conditions.
yeah, that would be.
So is that something we should put here in conditions for the applicant, or is that something we should ask the applicant to consider for their easement to the town?
Yeah, because if the town's gonna be the one maintaining it, we probably want the town to
Have an
Make sure
agreement
it's-
that spells that out.
make sure it's functioning properly. Yeah, exactly. So, we would just ask them that, right? We wouldn't have to put that in as a condition? Or we would put in a condition that they work with the town to set up a routine inspection schedule
That sounds good.
to make sure that it's functioning properly.
Yeah, we could add that to the condition about the
Okay.
easement being recorded to include.
To include a routine maintenance
Yeah.
schedule. And I would say we would want it at a minimum of twice a year. If not, I mean, probably not so much in the winter, but at least in the spring and the fall to make sure, A, that when there's a lot of water, it's not having issues, and B, to make sure in the fall it's not getting filled with leaves and other debris. Just,
I agree with that.
okay. Okay, so with those conditions, does anyone have anything else they wanted to add?
I think so.
Okay, and are you, anyone else? Okay, good. Can we get a motion?
We need a motion on exactly on this one.
So I can just offer clarification, because I know I didn't spell it out for you. It's an RDA, so they're seeking a determination whether it's positive or negative.
Negative, yeah.
Negative being they don't need to go further to an NOI, positive meaning they do. And then you can reference the conditions we talked about.
So I'll motion to issue a negative determination for one Old Sawmill Road, with the conditions as previously stated on erosion control, town maintenance easement, including working with the town to set up a routine maintenance schedule and to verify the sewer line locations for house 1 and 3.
I second that.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? No? Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you,
You
you
too.
also.
Cover everything.
Yeah, that is everything.
That's all I have.
Oh, sufficient.
Just one more motion.
Yep.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second that.
All in favor?